on.
Hey everybody! Welcome on into the Clayshare studio. I am Jessica Putnam-Phillips. Tonight we have a fun hand building tutorial using Flexi Bats. You know, the Flexi Bats were developed to be used on wheel-thrown pottery, but did you know you can use them for hand building? What? Did you? Well, now you do know because I just told you. And we are going to use them tonight to hand build. I do wheel throw and I hand build. Currently, I'm mostly hand building. And right now I'm going to do the hand building. I will show you how to use them on wheel throwing as well, so on your wheel. But I want to tell you, if you want to know more about them, check out Flexi Bats. Go check them out. They're on Instagram. They also have a YouTube channel where they have all kinds of tutorials on how to use their Flexi Bats. And they do have some videos up on their Instagram page. So find out more about Flexi Bats. They're out of Massachusetts. And they are a woman-owned company, one woman-owned operation. So you should check these guys out. And it's going to be fun because I'm excited. I already did a little playing with them, as you can see. Got a little clay on there. So what are these? What are Flexi Bats? Well, they are bats you can put on your wheel or hand build with that makes the bottom of your pots, so you're making your bottom, but the bottom can have an embossed design. So this is my Clayshare logo. You can see I got two, one that's negative, one that's positive, right? So I can have both options. So you can get these custom made with your logo or with a design or your name or whatever you want. So instead of having to sign the bottoms, you put these on the bottoms, and they're pretty fabulous. So I see a bunch of people tuning in. Canada, Texas, Netherlands. Hi everybody. Hi. Welcome on in. Debbie, you've been anxious to try these. I have been too. So they're made out of a foam. They smell like the flooring mat foam that you get for your studio, the cushy mat to stand on. They smell kind of like that, and that's not a bad thing. And yes, I smell everything. That's part of the pottery studio life. You can't help but smell stuff. So we're going to hand build, and it'll be a fun little informal tutorial. Feel free to ask questions. If you want more formal tutorials, then check out our over 300 classes, full-length pottery classes, over 4,000 videos on clayshare.com. You know, we have our own OTT streaming network. Yep, that's just like Netflix, basically, for pottery. We also have the Clayshare app, which you can download from any of the app stores, and you can watch Clayshare anywhere, anytime you want. So check that out. You can even watch the live broadcasts. Oh, and our workshops, which leads me to the awesome workshop we're in the middle of right now, which is Adam Field's workshop. Part 1 was last Saturday. Part 2 is coming up this Saturday. Full 6 hours of making pots and carving pots with Adam Field, and it has been amazing. So if you've ever wanted to take a workshop with Adam, well, you missed some of Part 1, but you can get in for Part 2 live, and of course when you sign up for any of our workshops, you get them forever. So I had to do that little plug. Had to give you all a little information. New Zealand and Australia. Georgia's in the house. Quebec is here. Hi everybody. Molly and Linda and Maja and Peggy. Oh, hi you guys. Evelyn and Sheila and Sue and Deborah. Whew, everybody's here. So I rolled out a slab of clay about 30 minutes ago. And I rolled it out pretty thick because I know I'm going to be thinning it down. I would say this is about a ½ inch thick. It's really thick. Because I knew I was going to be making it thinner, I just went really thick. Also, we're going to be pressing this clay into these recessed areas, so we wanted it kind of thick to begin with. And I was going to grab my tape measure, which I was using the other day, and it didn't get put back in, but I do have a ruler, so we can use that. And Belgium's here too. I know, I love it that we have people watching from all over the world. Hungary's in the house. Hi. So actually this isn't quite, this is 1, 2, 3. So I would say that's 3/8 of an inch right here. That's what it looks like to me. So it's not a ½ inch. It's 3/8. It's close. All right, so I rolled out this slab. We're gonna go ahead and roll to the overhead camera for everybody except you folks on Instagram. You folks just get this view. You get the full length view. Everybody else gets the overhead view for the tutorial part of this demo.
You can picture. So
Oh, a little
still see
picture
me.
picture, so you guys get to see a little me
A
and
little
then
Jessie.
the big me. So we rolled this clay out. Now, this is a really great thing for making bottoms, and what I do is I'm going to roll my clay into it, and then I'm going to use a circle cookie cutter and cut out my bottom. But then we got to make a side. So here I've already rolled a couple out. Here's my bottom. Never mind the black. That's just a little bit of coloration coming off these foam bats. That'll burn away. That's not a big deal. But you can see it's got the Clayshare logo, which is the Clayshare logo, which is a vase with two hands holding. They're making it together because it symbolizes community. We have in the color version blue and coral as our colors for Clayshare. So this is going to be probably colored in those colors once it's done. Because it has to be, right? All right, so what are we going to do with it after we make a bottom, though? We got to make a pot, right? Well, I am going to make a mug or planter. I haven't decided which, but for this one we need a, I'm going to go with a 3.5 by 10 would make a little planter, so let's do something bigger. Let's do a 4 by 10. So this is going to be our side. So I'm just making sure I have enough space for that, and we will add texture to our sides. That's going to happen. So we're good. We have what we need. Now, I rolled this out on canvas on my slab roller, and you'll see there's a canvas texture on it. So we're just going to take that canvas texture off. I'm going to use this yellow rib and smooth it out. Now, if you want to see a free tutorial on how to roll out a slab, just go to clayshare.com and type in the search bar, roll out a slab, and you can access that. And I show you how to roll a slab out without a slab roller. You don't need a slab roller to make pottery. If you make a lot of pottery, you might want one, but if not, you don't need one. And I show you how easy it is to work with just a slab roller, a rolling pin, and a board if you don't have a slab roller. So check that video out. That'll help you get started. People always ask, where should I start? That's a good place to start. That'd be a great place to start, I think.
I posted it.
And Kevin just shared it. Thanks, Kevin. So he shared it on Facebook and on Clayshare and all the Clayshare apps. Instagram, folks, I can't share it for you, but
It's on YouTube as well.
it's on YouTube too. But you heard, it's just go look for how to roll out a slab. All right, so I have got my clay rolled on both sides. You saw me flip it over. Kind of did it fast. Didn't really say much about it, but I did it nonetheless. So we're going to go ahead and I've got these really great cookie cutters. This set here, I believe I put in the Clayshare Amazon shop, amazon.com/shop/Clayshare. And it's a double-sided, one that has a scalloped side and one that's just plain circles. I love these. So handy for hand building. Do you like that? Handy for hand building. I know, crack myself up all the time. So we're just going to cut out a 4-inch circle to start with, because we're going to work with this and the Flexi Bat. So we're going to make our bottoms first, then we'll make the sides. So we're going to take the bottom, and I'm going to move my board off to the side. And for those of you who wonder what that board is, it's 3/4 inch birch plywood that I have applied 2 coats of a water-based satin polyurethane. Sand in between coats or your clay will stick. Sand at the end too, or your clay will stick. So here we have our little hunk of clay right there. Now, the difficult part. Which one are we going to use? Well, I already used this one. So maybe we'll use this one, right? And then I also have these little guys that I can press clay in to make a little clay stamp or sticker that I can put on something. So it's a really great way, if you have a logo and you've been trying to figure out how to get your logo onto things, this is a good way to do it. So we're just going to put our little circle. Don't worry if it's not centered. We're going to fix that later. We're just going to go ahead and roll it gently from the center, but you definitely want it to move. So you want to be pressing it down, because what we're doing is we're forcing the clay down into those grooves. That's how we're going to get our little ClayShare logo to transfer. And you can go over it multiple times. You see how I am? I'm not worried. I can go back and forth, side to side, whatever you want to do. So now we're going to see the moment of truth. Let's take it off. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to just gently peel it out. And there it is. The black will go away over time as you use this right here. It'll burn out in the kiln for now, but that's just because these are new, and it's a little bit of the coloration of the material, but it won't hurt your pottery. It'll go away. Okay, so we have this really great shape, ClayShare logo, right? But I don't want it to be 4 inches. I actually want it to be 3.5 inches because that's how big the bottom's going to be for our pot that we're going to make. So I'm going to go ahead and I wrote on my cookie cutters the sizes so that I know what I've got going on. And we're just going to line this up. Hopefully I won't lean over into the camera. Line it up approximately in center, and then I'm going to cut it out. And then gently remove the cookie cutter. And there we have, well, it could be a really cool magnet, right? Or coaster or whatever, but it's going to be the bottom of the pot. Yes, and so someone's asking, can they be used for wheel throwing? Yes, they were developed for wheel throwing. If you look, there are holes in the bats here in the corners for your bat pins. So what you would do is if you're going to throw with them is you center your clay right on it, right? And then you make your piece, and then this is your bottom. You don't have to trim the bottoms anymore if you're wheel throwing. You don't have to sign it anymore because it's in it. It's already there. So this is my logo for my company. So that's my pot. Nobody else is going to use this symbol because this is my official logo. Or at least they shouldn't be. I mean, they can, but they're not me, right? So you can get them made with whatever you want on them. And she does custom orders, which is really great. And her name's Chelsea. Company's called Flexi Bats. So you should check them out. And I do think, Chelsea, I don't know if she's watching, but we do need to get a ClayShare discount. So if she's on and she wants to do a ClayShare discount, go ahead and shout it out and I'll share it. But we definitely need to do a discount. So here we have what will be the bottom, right there. And it would make a great mug topper. Yes, it would, Sherry. And I made it, so I cut this 3.5 inches because I'm going to use it as the bottom of a specific size piece. I could have made it bigger, completely. Yeah, could have been bigger. You didn't have to make it that size. I just wanted to. Maybe we'll make a mug topper before we're done. We'll see. So I'm going to set this to the side, and we're going to make a pot. We're going to make a pot. And you can make whatever you want. I have a bunch of hand building tutorials on mugs. Succulent planters would be a good one, I think. I think that would be a really nice one to do. I'm thinking, let's see, which one will we do? I'm going to do this one here. Yeah, we're going to do this. This is a 4-inch by 12-inch. Actually, this one is a little, this is 4.5, this is 4. So I'm using a 4, I know I said 3, I know I said 10, but I'm changing my mind. I decided I'm going to change my mind. We're going to use a 4-inch by 12-inch, and we're going to go ahead and smooth it out again. Now, I want texture in this because it's the side of a piece. It's the side of a pot. I want some texture. You don't have to put texture in. It's a little thick too. So I'm going to roll my rolling pin across it a few times. Release. Roll again. You'll see the clay stretch. I'm going to roll sideways because you always want to change direction, but I don't want to lift up and move my whole slab. There. So I've thinned that down a little bit because it was really thick. It was 3/8 of an inch to start. It was really thick because you have to really force it. You have to force this slab into those little grooves. But for the sides, they don't need to be that thick. We can thin it down closer to 1/4 of an inch. So you can take it, which would be 2/8 of an inch for those of you who want to stick with the same measurement. But you know, if you got fractions, 2/8 of an inch is 1/4. I know that much. So I'm going to use my Jess's Town rolling pin for the side, and you can get this from SharonHoppyDesigns.com. I design them, I don't sell them. I have nothing to do with selling. All I do is design and then use it and show you how to do cool things with it, right? So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna roll it, but I don't like rolling sideways. I don't roll that way normally. It's just not great for your body. So we're gonna go ahead and adjust the clay a bit. I know it's hanging off the end, but it'll be all right. And we're gonna roll this in the clay. And like I said, this clay, I should be on a step stool so that I can get better even pressure downwards, but that works. This clay was just rolled out, so it's still pretty soft, and that's what you want for getting good texture. I'm gonna put this away. We don't need it right now. Now, I'm gonna peel it up. Just gonna adjust this. And we're gonna cut out a section. Actually, I should have left it the other way. Would have been easier.
Check your focus on the top. It just
I
moved
will.
down a little bit.
I'll check it.
There we go.
How's that? Did it right itself?
It did.
Cool. I like it when things fix themselves. It makes my life so much easier. Okay. Now, so we've got a slab, rolled out, smoothed out, has some texture on it. Can be any texture. Doesn't need to be any texture at all. You don't have to put texture on your piece. But why wouldn't you? Right? You have that opportunity. So now you have a big decision where to line up your little rectangle. I picked here. So I'm just going to cut straight across. This is craft foam that I have made a little template out of. It is 4 inches high by 12 inches long, which normally would give us a 4-inch diameter bottom, right? But we're going to do a little different technique for our bottom tonight, so we're going to go with this, and it's going to work for the 3.5 inch. I mixed it up just a little bit. So we're going to take this. This will get recycled. I'll probably just roll out some magnets with that in a little bit, or make some little trinket dishes or something, or pendants. You know, there's so many things you can do with little scraps of clay like that. So let's go ahead and slip and score so we can make our cylinder. The cookie cutters are unavailable right now. Oh no. Oh no. I know that happens from time to time. So I know I usually smooth this out, but we're not going to do that yet because we're going to do some stuff with it upside down, and I don't want to smooth it. There's no point. I'll have to smooth it again. So now we're going to lift up our cylinder and we're going to seal our join. We're going to create an overlap, and we're overlapping this front piece halfway with the back piece. So we have this really nice join here, and this is a beveled overlapping join. That's why I cut that lovely bevel cut, and that gives me a really good area to have a seam. There's lots of material, so if I did want to add volume, I don't have to worry about that seam bursting or popping as I'm adding that volume. We're going to use our little red rib here. And I don't know if you all can see, in here there's a seam. So we're just going to smooth that seam out by using this red rib. Nancy's so excited, her rolling pin's being delivered Saturday with the cloud template. Woohoo! Lucky girl, you're going to have a good time with that. I do have a couple finished pieces with this template, with the cloud template and with this rolling pin, and it just looks so good with texture. So we have a sealed seam, right? That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Let me grab my banding wheel. And then I've got just a little board to work on here. I'm going to put this up. Now, I do have my succulent planter class. This is basically a takeoff of that. Also my sweetheart mug class. And I should have grabbed one to show you all, because if you haven't started making things for Valentine's Day, start it. It's going to be on the right hand side of the gallery, bottom shelf all the way to the left. You'll see the sweetheart mugs. They have the little hearts on them. Kevin's going to grab one. So we're going to make the bottoms of this mug like we did in that class, which is where we take a bottom and we roll it in. Because we have this that's 3.5 inches and it's not going to fit. So we need to do a little adjustment to make it fit. So here is the bottom. This is the sweetheart mug right here. And you can't really tell that's happened, except we have this really lovely cut bevel that gives that angle to it. So we're just going to roll this in, just like this. I'm just using my thumbs and fingers, because I'm using both. And do you see how we're creating this little like shape happening here? Turn it upside down so you can see. We've got this like rounding over, and I do this in my teapot class too. So if you've been afraid to make teapots because it looks tricky, no, it's easy, and I show you step by step how to do it. I break everything down always to the simplest steps because I want everybody to succeed and have fun while making pottery. And so now I'm putting my fingers on the inside and I'm just using my thumb to roll this over. You see this technique? It's very simple. But it's a great way to get that shape. How else would you get that lovely rounded shape? And you can use this on the top as well. So you can do this for lidded jars too. Now let's see if we, look at that. That's awesome. It is awesome. So you see what we've done is now we have this lovely shape that it's going to join to. I'm going to slip and score the edge of this here. And I'm just using a standard serrated rib that comes in the basic pottery toolkit, nothing fancy. And then we're going to slip and score our little bottom piece. Now the Flexi Bat we used, it has a little raised edge, so we have a lovely little, I don't know if you can see, this little raised foot, so it raises it up just a little bit. Line this up. And then with clean hands, you really want to keep cleaning your hands. We're just going to go ahead and go around. And so I'm using this rolling motion. We're just attaching it. And I'm really not trying to touch that foot ring. I'm actually touching the tiny bit of clay around it. And I'll show you a little bit more in a minute. And so I see a comment, you get bits of clay stuck in your rolling pin. I tell you what I do. If I'm done using the rolling pin, I let it dry, and then I use a needle tool and I just go in and I quickly just take that little piece of clay that's stuck in a rolling pin out. And so I am just using my finger on that extra bit of clay around the foot ring. That way I'm not disturbing the foot ring at all. Making sure it's flat. Let me check that out. That looks pretty good. Now, I'll take a damp finger and I'm just going to smooth this bit here. I know it's not centered on the banding wheel, but that's all right. And then I want to seal that join that we just made so it looks nice. So Sherry's adding vinegar to her slip to make it stronger. I've been using magic water on my pieces and it's made a huge difference, and I will give you the magic water recipe, although Kevin could probably link it. You know, I have my little studio cards, my little cards that I keep in the studio, and in it I have things like my bisque and glaze firing schedule, I have slip recipes, I have wax recipes, but I also have my magic water. which is 1 gallon of water, 3 tablespoons of sodium silicate, and 1.5 teaspoons of soda ash. You mix that all up and use that to join your pieces, and it really helps prevent cracking. So if you haven't tried magic water, make yourself some and try it. And you can get all of those ingredients at your local clay supplier. Soda ash and sodium silicate are very common clay pottery materials, so you'll be able to get them wherever those are sold. And at Clayscapes Pottery, so you can check Clayscapes Pottery out. So let's use this color shaper to seal that seam. It just gives it a more finished and refined look. I have found the magic water has been amazing. I was using vinegar before. Gosh, that looks great, if I say so myself. It's good to have a career where you can, 20 years of making, still look at your pieces and enjoy what you're doing, right? And pottery is that kind of thing. I'll probably be, 50 years making pottery and super excited about it. So here, I want to pull this up close so you guys can see that foot for everybody. Is that in focus?
It's a little soft.
A little soft. I can't hold this and focus. Folks at Instagram, you can see it.
Do you want to roll to the main long enough for you to show it?
I mean, no, it's okay because we're going to let this dry. So here's the thing, we just made this. I'll show you guys close up before we're done because we still got another almost 30 minutes. So right now this is very soft. We have to let it set a bit, stiffen up a bit before we turn it over. We do have a little cleanup work on the inside here. I don't know if you can see down in folks' Instagram. See that line? See that line? That's clay we need to smooth out into the rest of the cup. But we don't want to do that yet because we could crush our design. So we need to let this sit up. This part here needs to stiffen, the outside. So we're going to let that do that. And while that's happening, we're going to do something else. We're going to make another piece.
That would be cool with the logo on the inside of the cup so you get to see it at the end of the
I mean, you can if you wanted to double side them, but the idea is it's your signature, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, yeah, you say that. And I never discount anything Kevin says, right?
How'd you sign the cup on the inside?
As magic! I can't tell you. It's a secret. So, my Flexi Bat has this little mini guy up here, right? Which I'm just going to roll out a bit of clay, just a thin little strip, line it up on that, and I'm going to press it in. And then we'll peel it out. So I'm going to be making basically a clay sticker. Ooh, look at that. My logo as a little clay sticker. Could be a pendant, be a perfect pendant. Could be a pin. I would not leave it this shape. I would cut it out with, well, how about with a cookie cutter? How about with a circle cookie cutter? I need a smaller one. Assistant, I need a smaller cookie cutter.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I didn't
yeah.
ask. It's in the second, I think, or third drawer down in my cookie cutter bin. Down from the bottom. Sorry, second, third drawer from the bottom. But you could cut around and make a more organic shape with this, right? How am I liking the Flexi Bats, Jenny? I'm smaller than this, smaller than 2.5 inches. I need a 2-inch. I'm enjoying the Flexi Bats, but I'm mostly hand building right now. I'm really excited about trying them. You just give me that whole stack. I'm really excited about trying them on wheel pieces, but that'd be a little while. All right, so I needed something more like that one's perfect, a 2-inch one. That should work. Thanks, Diana, for sharing that. Potterymill.com is her website. Now I need a 3D printed cookie cutter to match the shape of my logo. Well, maybe I do, right?
Yeah, check it. Got it.
What is this mat exactly? It's a type of foamy material. I don't know what it's made out of, but it's Flexi Bat is the company. I'm sure it's a material like a foamy, but it might be proprietary, so I'm not going to really give too much away because I don't want to be like, oh, she uses this, and then she's like, oh, but that was copyrighted. You can't say that stuff, right?
Yeah, it's a type of closed
It's
foam.
a type of closed foam. Yeah. I know that much. Other than that, I don't know. So I just made this super cutest little thing. I mean, that could be magnets. Oh, does anybody want clay share magnets? Yes, we do. You want them made by me? Yeah? Okay, I can do that for you. So now I can make clay share magnets, or a pendant, right? Or a pin. Handmade clay pins. Fabulous, cool stuff can be done. Or if you want to stick it on your pot, this would be a great little logo on the pot. I might do that. I think I'm going to do that. So when this is ready and I flip it over, I'm going to stick the clay share logo on the front of it. How about that, folks? We'll do that, but we got to wait for that to dry. So let's do something else now. So I do know a lot of people will think the Flexi Bats have limited use, and if you're throwing on the pottery wheel, you do have to wait longer to remove your piece and use them again. If you're hand building, you don't wait. Hand builders, we just go. We don't have to wait. Nope. No holding us back. We're just gonna make. So I thought we would do a plate. And I'm not exactly sure how this will work because I haven't tested it with a plate yet. But I thought it could be fun. Or maybe we'll make a bowl. Maybe we'll use my cloud template and make a bowl with it. Diana says, make a pendant. Yes, I can. I'll make some more. We'll make lots of stuff with those. Oh, I just saw a question. Victoria, there's not an NCECA this year. No, the clay conference, well, I should back up. There's not a in-person NCECA this year. They did say they were going to do something online, but I haven't heard anything yet. But what there is, in only about 5 weeks from now, is ClayShareCon, which is a free 5-day online conference. And we will have giveaways and demos and an after party and studio and factory tours and all kinds of awesomeness. And you will get to know more as we go forward because I have more info. It's our 2nd annual. I'll be sharing in next week's broadcast all about ClayShareCon. So I'm not going to give it all away, but you can check out the website claysharecon.com. But that's last year's. You can watch last year's all for free. Check it out if you want. But we'll be talking about this year's ClayShareCon next week. All right, so now I am going to go ahead and roll this big slab into the logo. I'm going to do that first. And I do want to share this really cool resource for everybody. It's called findakiln.org. If you are living in an area and you need to find a place to fire your pottery, check out findakiln.org. They have an online listing where you can find pottery studios that will let you go there and fire your pieces. All right, look what happens. Look at that. How cool is that? They even have the little bat pins. I need to get together with Chelsea and make some hand builder versions of these because I don't want the bat pin in there. We're going to take care of that. So this will be the outside of a bowl. Or, I mean, you can make a little plate. I think we're going to make a little piece. Let's do this. Will that line up? So this is all trial and error for me because I haven't done this yet. Now I did see she had a tutorial on her Instagram page where she did a square plate, and you could see this would work perfectly for a square because we already have that square. There. Yeah, April, the logo would go great on a mug topper. We can make mug toppers. We'll make a mug topper after we do this. So I'm just going to best guess. And everybody out there who ever wants to know how do you cut a circle with GR pottery forms to make perfectly round pieces, what I will do is I will take the next larger piece. So these are stackable GR pottery forms. I will use the next larger pottery form for this. The other option that you can do is you can just drape it and then free cut it, but it can get a little dicey when you do that. So we're going to do it this way. We're going to cut. You also could have a cookie cutter large enough, or you could use rim templates, which I do have my Avalon one. I should have used my Avalon one. Maybe we'll do another. Maybe. We'll see if we have time. It's hard to get so much into an hour. I have lots of ideas I want to share with you guys. Flexi Bat is making some for GR pottery forms, so it forms the foot. Ah, I love that. Yeah, I love that idea. I'm excited for that. That'll be awesome. All right, we're going to put this guy over here. Just drape that clay there. Now, here we have what will be the bottom, right? So we want to get this lined up in the center. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab, that'll work. I just need something so I can turn this over. And then the center, we're just going to line this up like that. And then we're going to flip it back onto another board. Let me grab another. I'm going to flip the whole thing over. You have 5 Flexi Bats and have only used them on the wheel. Now, Michelle, you need to use them. You need to use them for hand building, because I'm showing you how. So we're going to leave this bottom because that's our bottom now. I'm going to grab my banding wheel here. These banding wheels are very heavy. If you've ever tried to move them with one hand, ooh, you know what I'm talking about. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to really work on the side and smooth it down. And I've never used the Flexi Bats for this, but I am excited to hear that they're going to be working with GR pottery forms and making some cool new things. That's really exciting. You know how much I love GR pottery forms. Oh, you don't know? Well, I love GR pottery forms. So I'm just going to smooth this. This is a Mud Tool Red Rib. This one is the, I believe, number 1. The number 1 red rib out there. That's this one. And I'm just using it as I spin this around to smooth the sides. And use my finger on the inside just to press it in a bit. But I don't want to disturb this great logo that I have. I love that. It looks really good. Now, I'm just going to press it into the board. Normally, what we do is after we make a piece like this, we will let it set for, oh, you can let it set overnight. Something this small, you don't have to let set that long. I want to make sure I have a really nice transition where that side and the rim come together. So I'm just going to use my finger to highlight that. So normally I would let this set, but because we want to see what it looks like as a plate, and you see the logos in the bottom, so that's good. We're going to quickly flip it over and take a look at the bowl itself, and then I'll put it back to dry. But just for you tonight, we're going to do this. It's very classy looking. I know. We're getting classy here at ClayShare.
Keep it classy, Clay.
That's right. So we can pop this out. I just dug it with my fingernail. Let me, my water. That happens. We just smooth it out with a fingertip and take care of that. So we have this really great little plate that we just made. And I mean, you can go and you can scallop the rim with a finger. You know, you can make this really great ruffled rim. Now that I said that, I want to make a really great ruffled rim. So I know when I do my full-length classes on ClayShare, they always have a title of one thing. Like it's a, you know, how to make a French press, right? But none of my classes are ever one thing. There's always techniques you're going to be learning that will lead you to the next thing. And sometimes I actually do show you other things in those classes. So it really, it's just a jumping off point, right? It's how all of them are. So let's smooth our rim nicely with this rib. And then I'm going to do a ruffled rim. So that's what I'm talking about. We just did this little dish. Now I'm going to show you how to do a ruffled rim. A ruffled rim could be a class by itself, but it never is. There's always other things, right? So let's just do a ruffle, like that. Just lifting up. And so I'm going to do it across from each other, and 4 points. But you know we're going to have to do more than 4. Look how cool that is already. Let's do 8. so we get a really lovely ruffle plate. And yeah, the clay is soft, but it's not too soft. It's just soft enough. Look at that! And so we will go in and we will smooth our edges, any rough edges, after this is set up to leather hard. So we don't have to do anything right now, except let that sit. Look at that! Can you see the ruffles? It's just like those potato chips. The ruffles. It's cute though, right? It's a really cute way to make a little dish. Now, it's super cute. Super cute. Just like I like my pottery. Super cute. Let's make a mug topper. We make those mug toppers from time to time, don't we? So we're gonna do one now. Careful which direction you ruffle in or you can't turn it over again. I'm not going to turn that one. I'm going to just let it be. It's a small enough piece. So normally I wouldn't ruffle it until it's set up enough that it can come out of the form. But that one, it's small. We ruffle it. Let's roll this in. Oh, I got the squeaky rolling pin. Listen. Gotta oil my rolling pin here. The squeaky rolling pin gets the grease. Oh, let's do something fun. You want to do something fun? Wait, I didn't hear you. Yes! Want to do something fun. All right, fine. Let's do something fun. How about we make a mug topper that will have my logo on one side and mushroom texture on the other side. Wow! Sorry. It's Wednesday. What can I say? You know how Wednesdays go. Look at that. Mushrooms. Awesome. All right, let's peel this up and out. Here we go. So we're just gonna gently coax it. Looky there. Clayshare logo. Mushrooms. All right. Mug topper. We need to use a 4.5 inch for the outside. So just line it up approximately in the center. Ruffles or no ruffles? Let's do ruffles. I'm going to flip it over. You don't have to do the ruffled side. If you can't find these cookie cutters, you can use whatever you want, right? I need to grab some more clay too. Let me grab this piece because mug toppers need something on the inside to keep it from sliding all over the place, right? So I did the 4.5 on the inside. I will do a 3.5 on the inside, which gives me, math folks, what does it give me on each side? A 1/2 inch of wiggle room. And you could do it smaller. And we're gonna roll the, what? The squeaky sound made your squirrel jump. Not sure what it said to him. It's speaking squirrel. My rolling pin speaks squirrel. That's awesome. All right, I'm going with the mushroom again because we want that mushroom texture, right? So let's roll some mushrooms. 3.5 inch gives you that 1/2 inch on each side. If you feel like you need a bigger gap, you can go with a 3 inch, right? And let me just look at it. Do you feel like that's big enough? Let's go with the 3. We're going to do the 3.
Lisa wants to know how much caffeine you had before the broadcast.
So...
And did you get into the C's again?
Well, there's been no caffeine, but the C's chocolate were left in the studio after Monday. Thank you, Kathy. For this, so Kathy sent us C's chocolate to test, and I tested them. And I didn't test them all, and I felt like today I should test some more before the broadcast. So I may have had a few pieces of chocolate, but no caffeine. All I need is a little, like 2 or 3 or 5 pieces of chocolate. Yeah, I know. So slipping and scoring our 3 inch disc, and then we're just going to line this up like this. Now, I'm just going to let it set for a second. It transferred some of the slip, so now I know where to slip and score. And then we're going to lay this on, but we're going to do something a little different. Because we have the Great Clayshare logo, I don't want to mess that up. I'm going to press it lightly, but I'm going to flip it over. You know, I'm going to flip it over. Let me get a little board. Gently. Let's see how that, there. Look at that for a mug topper. How perfect is that? Now, what I do like to do, and I didn't do it yet, is this seam right here, where the two pieces come together, I like to just use that color shaper. I don't hold this in my hand normally when I do it. I sit it on a board and do it because your hand can cup and then it can affect the shape. But I wanted to show you all. So look at that. How's that? If you have a logo and you want to put it out there in the world, this might be a great way to do it. It's actually awesome. Plus we got mushrooms on the backside. I can see your comments, Michelle, what the bat is for and what it does. So this little guy is a Flexi Bat. You can throw with it. Check out Flexi Bats on Instagram. Check her website out. It's Pottery Mill, is it claystudio.com? But she makes these bats mostly for wheel throwing, but I hand build with them.
It's
and you get
potterymill.com.
Potterymill.com. And I use them for hand building, so my logo is on the bottom, so now I don't have to sign. And I think, Michelle, you're just coming in, so watch the replay so you get all the info. Because here's the mug we made. We're going to flip this mug over now. And we got a few minutes left. We need to fix that bottom. You see we have an area that we need to smooth out. I'm going to use wooden clay knife. Has a nice rounded, and sometimes called a potter's thumb. And we're just going to go in and we're going to very gently smooth that down. So instead of having a drop like this, we have a slope. And so you just go in and do this. Normally I will have this sitting on my banding wheel. Let's grab that. And we don't want to crush, right? We're not trying to crush the logo that's on the bottom of my mug. But we definitely want to blend in this side. So I'm really not pressing down so much as pulling inward. There. So I've pulled it down. Could put the logo on the inside of the mug topper too. It should stop the liquid, right, Jody? It should hold itself on. Yep, I think you're right. I think that would work. So now I'm going to swipe sideways with this wooden tool to smooth this out. And then I'll go in with my finger and smooth it out even more, because I want it to be nice down in there. And I might even wait to finish that off all the way until it's set up a little more. But let's take a look. Oh wait, do we still have a logo on the bottom? Yeah, we still do, and it looks great. So now, finishing off the inside, I'm just going to take a sponge and smooth it. And then I'll use my finger to go in and just get the rest of that nice and smooth. I don't want any rough spots. I just want it to be nice. To be a nice experience when someone's washing this, because whatever this becomes, cup or mug, someone's going to have to wash it. Unless they put it in the dishwasher, and then, well, the machine, I guess, doesn't care. All right, let's do our rim. So I'm just going to use the sponge. I do this little taco sponge, right? And then I'm just going to pinch it. So I think my slab is a tiny bit thick for a mug, but it works. I could have gone a little thinner. It just depends, you know, that whole thing is personal preference. If you like a really chunky mug, make it a chunky mug. If you like thin mugs, make it thin. Just keep in mind that when you do hand-built items and they're too thin, they tend to warp. That's one of the things that happens first. They just warp. They do best when they're thicker. Not crazy thick, just a little thicker. Did I say taco?
Oh, man.
I know, tacos would be good, wouldn't they? So I don't need to use cornstarch on the Flexi Bat, or at least I didn't need to. So I couldn't help myself. I had to add a little volume. And now I'm gonna go ahead and use my thumbs and fingers again to make a little slight inward curve. Right, just a little bit. And let's see if I have my secret mug rounding tip. Terracotta pot. This is the smallest one that I could find. I think it's a 4-inch one. But you put that in, and then you press your clay against it, and guess what? It's going to be round. Perfectly round, as a matter of fact. So that's my little tip. Now I do have a class on making your very own hand-built clay rounder, but you know, these are commercially available. You can easily grab them and wait. Ta-da! It's nice and perfectly round. And so you just let that set up, and what I will do is, I'm probably going to put a handle on it. Oh, I was going to put this on it too. I'm going to put that on the front. So we're going to have to roll to the front camera, I think. Because I don't know if they can see it though. Let me see if I can pull this back a bit. I think we should roll to the front because I don't think you can see it from the side. Now my handle's going to go here. So my little clay sticker, that's what we're calling this, is a clay sticker. When you stick a piece of clay on, it's a clay sticker. Slip and score. So if you're going to put the logo on, you could do the bottom with the logo on the inside if you wanted, and then do something like this on the outside. But if you're going to make mugs for somebody, what if you get a commission from somebody, like a coffee shop or something, and they want you to make them a bunch of mugs? This could be a fabulous way to make the logo that you need to make for that company. Like, I am just making the very first ever official Clayshare mug. That's this one. No, it doesn't have a handle yet. It'll get one in a minute. It can wait though. So let me get down here so I get this on lined up where I want it. So look, there. And now clean dry hands. We're just gonna roll this on, right? Just use your finger to roll it out. We're not trying to crush it, but we want to make sure it's attached all the way around. Doot, doot, doot. That's the key. Doot, 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 you know. And then color shaper, smooth out. I think the logo that I just did, this clay sticker, is worth the price of admission for a Flexi Bat for me. Yeah. That alone,
that's really cool.
That alone would be worth me buying a Flexi Bat. I'm just going to say, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Is it focusing on it? I hope it is.
Yes.
Look at how cool that is. And check out that bottom. Remember how I was telling you? Look at that. That's the bottom. So you get this nice raised bottom effect. So, gotta make a handle. Gotta get a handle on it. Let's see if I can quickly pull a handle. I have to tell you, it won't be as good as a Doug Peltzman handle, because that man, he is the king of handles. If you want to learn how to make amazing handles, you should check out Doug Peltzman's workshop on clayshare.com. If you're a premium member, you get 20% off all our workshops, and anybody who purchases a workshop gets them forever. Don't need to be a member to sign up for a workshop. Anybody can take one. Anybody out there at all. All right. So I quickly, very, very quickly, my old college ceramics professor would chide me for not wedging my clay long enough, but I very quickly wedged my clay. And now we're going to pull a handle my way. So we're just going to go ahead, get the clay coil. I made like a carrot. And then we're going to pull, and I have this really great class on how to pull a handle. It's a 3-step process. You have a thumb pull, a U or side pull, and then scissor pull. And those are the 3 motions that I use to pull a perfect handle. So if you struggle with pulling handles, take my class. You will not struggle anymore. I can say that because I've gotten so many messages and emails from folks who have hated making handles, struggled for years, took my class, and now make great handles. So what season is, oh, you mean Lee in the Great Pottery Throwdown. Lee Lee Pollard is in the Great Pottery Throwdown, and that's season 4. It's currently airing in the UK. There's been 2 episodes, but you can access that, my understanding is, from an app called expat.com. It's going to be on
Expat Prime.
Expat Prime, .com. Nothing to do with Clayshare, not affiliated with Clayshare, except Lee Pollard. Lee is one of my early Clayshare members. Lee started taking classes from me before I started Clayshare. Lee found me first on YouTube, followed me on Periscope, I believe he said, and learned how to make pottery from me. So I've got to tell you, I am a pretty proud clay mama here for him on the Great Pottery Throwdown over there. So we're all rooting for Lee. And if you know what's going on, don't share, because I haven't seen any of it. None. So that's a nice sized handle. That's good. You want plenty of handle to work with. I don't like these teeny tiny little handles. I like a handle that, you know, you're holding something. Little handles are uncomfortable. Skinny little handles are hard to hold. Sally says, my handle technique is excellent and works for me. Works for her. Works for me too. So once I make a handle, I will shape it and I'll let it dry, right? And if we have the luxury of time, we let it set up a bit, but I want to get this handle on. I want to get a handle on it. If you put your handle on too soon, it can warp your mug. Those of you who have commented that, you know, you did everything right, you thought it was going to be great, and then you put your handle on, and then you have this weird warp pulling back where the handle's attached, the mug needed to sit up a little bit longer before you put the handle on. So what I'm going to do now, probably, maybe not 100%, but maybe will warp my mug. I'm going to find out. Hey, studio assistant. Top drawer, I think, is my little flower cookie cutter. You want to grab me that? My little doggy paw cookie cutter. I'm just going to take a second and smooth the bottom.
2 dirty ones, so
I don't care. I'll use the dirty one.
Well, the dirty ones just mean they're the ones you use.
Yep. Flower cookie cutter. I believe it's 1.5 inches in diameter. So I'm going to flare out my... Let's check size. I just cut it about 6 inches is what I do. And it's pretty much always fine for the size mugs I make. Make a little mermaid tail. Then we're going to use this cookie cutter. Make a little dog paw. Aw, see how cute? And then we're also going to tamp that down. Expat Prime app. She won't share, but he's still in. And Sunday's the 3rd episode. Ah, go Lee, go. All right. I want Lee to win it all. I want him to win it all so we can say one of our own won it. I don't even care though. He's made it this far. Just getting in makes me happy. If you saw the broadcast a few weeks ago, I was barely able to hold it together. I was so excited for him when I found out. I mean, think about it. I've been teaching pottery a long time, and so to have one of my students go on a international show, that's quite a bit of a thing. I'm pretty excited about that. All right, so we got our handle, got our little dog paws cut, slip and score. I'm putting my handle on the seam. You can put your handle on your pieces anywhere you want, but that's where I like to put mine. And I'm not going to do it on camera because a little trick from Doug. Those of you who took his workshop know what I'm going to do after I attach my handle, but I'm not going to do it here because that's his thing, but I'm probably going to do it after. So I'm not going to share it. It's a secret. But if you took the workshop, you know. So I'm just compressing this and attaching. Just get the bottom on there. You always want to check and make sure they line up top to bottom, because if not, you could end up with a mug that, yeah, that would have been crooked. I mean, sometimes handles warp anyways in the firing. It's just part of it. If you are a wheel thrower, you know handles unwind. Did you know? They do. Handles actually unwind because when you're throwing, the clay is being forced in this centrifugal motion, and it actually unwinds during the firing sometimes. And some potters, it will unwind so noticeably they actually offset their handles so that as it unwinds, they're lined up again. I don't do that. I just let it be. I take it as part of the process. Okay. Mug. Done. We made a mug. How cute. So that's basically a version of the Sweetheart mug straight on, right? So if you want to make this mug that I just showed you in the full-length class, you want to get the whole thing, check out the Sweetheart mug class. Instead of using the Clayshare logo, we make a super cute little heart using lace doilies for our texture, but you can use anything you want for texture. So there we have it. Turned out pretty good. All right, so let's see what's going down. You ordered it last week and you love it. Woohoo! So you do not need to be a Prime member to order our workshops. Nope, no. To take Doug Peltzman's workshop or to take Adam Fields or Drew Seymour or any future artists that we have scheduled, which I won't announce, but I do have a couple other people coming on. Yes, there'll be hand building. Yes, there'll be surface design and decoration coming up. So put it out there. And then we'll also have more wheel throwing at the end of summer. So there'll be another wheel throwing workshop for those of you who are wheel throwers. But no commitment. If you want to take a workshop on Clayshare, you do not have to be a member of Clayshare. You can just sign up and take it. That's fine. But if you are a premium member, you save. So, you know, it's just a little incentive, but you don't have to be a member to take the workshop. Yeah, I'd seen a few questions about that, but no, you don't have to. Not at all. No. So, there we have it. Flexi Bats for hand building. We made mug. We made a ruffled plate, a little ruffled dish to go with our mug, maybe? Fancy, fancy. And we made this mug topper, right? So we've got a mug with a topper and a little dish. We got a breakfast set right here. So that's what we made tonight. Thank you folks for joining me. You know, have a fabulous week, my Prime members. I will see you in the private broadcast at 6:15. So that's in about a little less than 15 minutes from now. Everybody else, see you next Wednesday. Take care. Bye, everybody. Check out clayshare.com.